And the marathon schedule has started. The Prime Minister of India started his US trip with one-on-one meetings with top 5 business leaders in the US. These meetings with the top 5 CEOs of global companies being very significant as the Prime Minister seeks to push India as a key player in global supply chains and in the Indo-Pacific region. The discussions centered around reviving economic growth in the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic shattering the global economies. India has also recently undertaken a host of measures to attract investments, including bearing the ghost of retrospective taxation and opening many sectors for foreign direct investment. The meetings took place at the Willard Intercontinental Hotel in Washington, D.C. The first meeting was with Shantanu Narayan, the CEO of Adobe. And let's give you a better sense of what's happening at this point. These latest images that we are getting to you. The all-important bilateral between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison has started. A host of issues that are on the agenda. But one aspect that has been closely watched and discussed has been how the two countries would be tackling the important issue in terms of the free and open Indo-Pacific in the backdrop of the AUKUS ruckus, as it has been called, the friction that has been caused by the AUKUS agreement. Remember, this is a pact between the US, the UK and Australia, which has far-reaching implications. At the same time, the US has reassured countries, specifically India, that the AUKUS partnership will have no impact on bilateral engagements, on the quadrilateral partnership that the US has as well. Climate change, tackling the COVID-19 crisis, a free and open Indo-Pacific, security, technology, trade, investment, all of these will be up for discussion as a part of those crucial talks that are now taking place between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. The meeting coming, of course, after the AUKUS announcement. So the timing is very significant. The Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, the NSA Ajit Doval, present in the meeting from the Indian side, the Australian and the Indian sides taking forward the partnership in various spheres, the trade and investment partnership, of course, that has been talked about, and large-scale expectations when it comes to a free and open Indo-Pacific. That's one crucial aspect as well of those discussions. This is the first India-Australia bilateral meeting after the COVID-19 pandemic and the Indian Prime Minister's first crucial bilateral meeting ahead of the quadrilateral summit. Remember, post the bilateral meetings with the Australian Prime Minister, the Japanese Prime Minister, as well as the American President, the all-important quadrilateral summit, the Quad meeting, is to take place tomorrow. That is right after the Indian Prime Minister holds that important bilateral with the American President Joe Biden. These are the latest images, for those of you just joining us, of the bilateral meeting between the Indian Prime Minister and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. The External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, and NSA Ajit Doval, a part of the Indian delegation. The two sides will be discussing a wide range of issues. The timing of this meeting is extremely significant, taking place in the backdrop of the announcement of the AUKUS partnership between the US, the UK and Australia. Balancing the relationship between India and Australia is a key aspect of the Prime Minister's visit to the US. Also, whether or not the AUKUS partnership will have any impact on the quadrilateral engagements, on the quadrilateral partnership. Remember, earlier, US President Joe Biden had reassured India that and countries that there will be no impact on the quadrilateral engagements, on the quadrilateral partnership. This is the Indian Prime Minister's first bilateral of his US trip, which kick-started with meetings with top 5 CEOs in the United States. issues like 5G, sharing technology, drone partnerships have been discussed as a part of those engagements. The Indian Prime Minister sitting down for that crucial bilateral with his Australian counterpart, Scott Morrison. Let's also give you a better sense of why this engagement is so important when it comes to partnering with Australia in multiple spheres. The trade and investment aspect has been very important as well. Remember the free trade agreement, and the comments that have come in so far have been positive when it comes to engaging, having better equations when it comes to trade, investment, when it comes to sharing technology, when it comes to tackling the climate change issue. Australia and India both have serious concerns over the impact of climate change. These two countries have taken up this issue very seriously. We've already seen the impact of climate change on countries across the world, which is why the climate change issue is extremely significant when it comes to the engagements that are taking place in the United States. The bilateral engagements that the Indian Prime Minister has, the quadrilateral engagement, the Quad Summit that is to take place tomorrow as well. Already during the UNGA address as well, the American president had highlighted how important tackling the climate change issue, the urgency of climate action really is.